Okay, so I have another one here. Batman and the Monster Men. I have never read this before. I picked it up at the exchange for $10, and I am pleasantly surprised. Didn't know anything about the book. Didn't literally, like I said, didn't even know it existed. I pretty much just picked it up because it looked like a Scooby Doo tie-in. I'm not gonna lie, and as you can see, I don't know. I just vibed with it, but I found out that it's from Matt Wagner, the guy who did Trinity. That's on my list. But it's called From Dark Moon Rising. It's like a two-parter. It's this and what was the other one called? It was something with like a cult, something like that. I plan to read that one too. Um, so yeah, this one was actually pretty good. It is takes place a little bit after year one. He might be in year two or three, but it's Batman's first encounter with Hugo Strange. So that was interesting. And there's also some other stuff that's actually kind of interesting as well. Batman has a relationship in it. His girlfriend, oh god, I forgot her name. It's last name Madison something, Madison Industries, something like that. But that was an interesting part of the book. It was, Batman grappling with having a relationship and being Batman, being a relationship with Bruce, and then, sorry, lady, I gotta go do stuff. But so that was interesting how he was dealing with that stuff. That's always an interesting thing of Batman, him and his personal relationships with people. But so as we see, the one thing I would definitely, when I'm thinking about it, like, I mean, putting this like close to year one, not in terms of quality, but just in terms of like reading and what it introduces. I mean, it introduces a lot of the crime family. I think the Maronis. I forgot about the Falcone or Falcone, whatever is in it. But no, it introduces a lot of the crime family. You get to see the Gotham underworld, Commissioner Gordon, all that good stuff. It starts off with talking about the Red Hood gang, so we get to see. So it's before the Joker, as we see that with him and his stupid little cylinder pill thing with his cape. So I think it's before the Man Who Laughs, I would assume. I don't think it's in continuity, but it helps. So yeah, definitely for new Batman readers, if you don't know anything about it, I would really recommend it. And it's also, I mean, the suit, it's kind of like, I don't know if it is, but I feel like it's a spiritual successor to year one, at least, like, not in like story from like Frank Miller, but just like the vibe and just like I always really like Batman when it's his first year or like the end of his career. I don't know why. It's just like you either get like this new spruced up Batman, he's ready to go, or like this grizzled Batman. It's like, oh my god, I don't want to fight these people anymore for 500 years. So that was interesting, and just the art. The art's nice. It's I don't think it's great. It's kind of Gotham by Gaslight ish a little bit. Not really like year one, but I don't know. I'll put some pictures just here and there, some maybe variants in how the Batman suit works. But the Bat suit is really cool. It looks exactly like this variant cover. Very very old school. It's good. Year one. A cool thing they do, because the city doesn't really know that much about Batman in this book, so they do the police sketch art, and it's the one with the original like first appearance Batman with the original like weird bat wings. But that was cool. I always like little references like that. It's like, you look like that, and it's like a direct picture from the original comics, which I think is really cool. So throughout the comic, I mean, we just see Hugo Strange get introed. Hugo Strange, if you don't know, he's like the mad scientist guy at Arkham Asylum, usually is what he's doing, and he's usually experimenting on people in various ways. In this universe, we see he's a disgraced professor from Gotham State University, and for doing some, genetic engineering, usually something around those lines. So we see that, and he's making these like monster men. Go figure. That's what the comic's called. So he's trying to like perfect it, all like the test tubes and stuff, and he gets involved with the mob, and then doesn't pay up, and they want more money and whatever. So we see these monster men like brutalize. I'll put some pictures here, but no, they like ripping people apart. I was surprised. So that was cool. But yeah, the monster men. That's our big bad. They're killing people. They want to know who did it, type thing. And then Batman's like, dude, I gotta find these people. Like, what giant animal have they unleashed? And Gotham hasn't really seen anything like this that we see with Batman talking to Jim Gordon. That there's this unknown beast that is ripping people literally like to shreds. So he eventually, I mean, I'm skipping over a lot here, but yeah, he eventually just does perfect it, type thing. He locks Batman in a cage with him, and that's a cool fight scene. That's a really neat fight scene. Batman, like, knowing that he's like, I'm sure he's probably like 6'4" or something, 6'2", and like these guys are like massive. They're like Bane level. They're like 15, 20 feet tall, and they're all muscle. So he gets locked in a cage with them, and he's doing some really cool moves, and just the way he's like, his inner monologues talking to himself, that how he's gonna beat them, how he's gonna use his tool belt, all his stuff gets taken away. So yeah, that is a really cool fight scene of him getting out of that. It just shows you how smart Batman. He doesn't need all of his gadgets all the time, which I think is always nice. But yeah, eventually we kind of get to the point where Hugo Strange is really, really mad at the mob. So he kind of just sends all of his goons, the big monster men, to go get him, to settle the score or whatever. And they're killing everybody. Same thing with Batman. He gets steel cables with the Batmobile. He gets rid of their eyes. The coolest part though is he gets a steel cable, and these monsters, they're pretty much, they're kind of stupid, so they attack whatever's in front of them. So he steel cables two of them together, and whenever they try to get away, it's on a ratchet or whatever. So they get together more, and they kill each other. So that was really cool to see that, and it's kind of neat. I like seeing Batman use real world things. Like he says, like, this is like a mountain climbers, like ratchet or something, and it shows it. That's the type of thing I like, but they also keep it fantastical, where he's doing inhuman things, but he's using real world stuff. That's a whole nother argument, but that's a cool thing I like. Yeah. So eventually, there's some like mob stuff involved with his girlfriend's dad, and that subplot's okay, but he's like, you gotta forgive them to because his girlfriend's father like owes money to the mob. He's like, you gotta stop, forget his name, and that stuff's all right. But again, just the Monster Men. If this comic was any longer, then I think it's like 140 pages, so you can read this thing pretty quickly. It was really slow towards the beginning until they kind of showed some Hugo Strange stuff. But yeah, if it was any longer than 140 pages, it probably would have been bad. But it's overall, it's worth a read. I'll probably make a video of like my essential Batman comics, or just like reading recommendations. But I think this one really does a good job of showing Hugo Strange, who he is, some of the main figures you'll start hearing about in Gotham whenever you read more stuff, and just it's pretty to look at. Specifically, I just like the bat suit. It's really classic looking, and it's always interesting just to see Bruce's relationship with people that are not Alfred or the Bat family, specifically. But yeah, I thought it ended a little weird. Something with the girl's dad like being obsessed with Batman. I don't know if I'm missing something, but it's kind of weird. But I do like that Hugo Strange, it ends with like an interview on TV with him, and he's like, the only guy that would, this Bat person or whatever you guys are calling him, he's got to be insane. I mean, think about it. He has his own moral compass slash sense of justice that he imposes on people, beating the crap out of them and not letting the police do it. So he's like, yes, this man is definitely completely unstable. And I don't know, I always like Hugo Strange saying that stuff because he keeps that front face, but then he's also like an insane scientist. But yeah, Hugo Strange is always a neat villain, and for this to be like his first time interacting with him, I think is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm interested to check out the other comic by Matt Wagner in like this Dark Moon Rising series. I think they're from like 2006. I thought they were kind of newer just based off the how the print is, but it was good. I recommend it. If you can get it for cheap, go for it. It's a good little read. We'll see you guys in the next one.